Welcome back and thanks so much for staying with us. Now, access to education is a fundamental need that is hard for many people to fulfill without the assistance of some sorts. Now, this is especially so when it comes to continued or higher learning education, but thankfully, many industries offer bursaries in respective fields. One such industry is in the music field. And this year, the South African Music Rights Organization, SAMRO, will be giving 117 musically inclined individuals music bursaries valued at 9,000 Rand each. Now, this brings the total to just over R1 million. We're joined now by Andre Roux, who's General Manager for SAMRO Endowment for the National Arts. Andre, good to see you again, and thanks so much for joining us this morning. You'll be celebrating your 50th anniversary as SAMRO, which your mandate had been collecting revenue for composers. If you look back over the past 50 years and the evolution that SAMRO had to go through, what are some of the highlights?
Firstly, over the last 50 years, I wasn't there all the time. I would imagine you weren't, yes. I think one of the major highlights for me is our consistency. We grew our revenue year in, year out for the last 50 years. And we're a stable, secure organization. And stable and secure for artists is a big thing, because most artists don't belong to any kind of formal entity, formal organization. And they've depended on us for royalty income, and we've successfully been able to do so. And hopefully for the next 50, so in 100 years' time, you'll be interviewing me, and the composers will be very happy because they'll still be getting their royalties. But what makes us even more proud, and makes me more proud, is that we started in 1961, and in 1962, we gave our first scholarship, and that was an overseas scholarship. We've given 60 since 1961, and we started our bursary program in 1981. Over the last 30 years, we've given 1,400 bursaries. That's 1,400 educated artists out there.
We'll come to the academic assistance that you're also giving in the music industry, but I want to just look at the accusations leveled at SAMRO when it comes to distributing funds, and you'd find that some composers would argue that, look, not the entire amount which is due to me, handling or dealing with the expectation. How have you managed to work through that?
It's not such an easy process. One can explain it very simply. We calculate the royalties, put it in a big pot, and then you mix it up and dish it out. But it's not that simple. Each work needs to be calculated. We license people like yourselves, the broadcasters, and they give us the most accurate data. Thank you, Susie. So we get accurate data, but we get accurate data from all over. So we can't get the money and distribute it immediately. What we have to do is retain it for a while, calculate what's due, and you calculate what's due in terms of the different usages. Different radio stations make different amounts of income. If your song plays on a local community radio station, your income won't be that good. If the local community radio station doesn't pay a license fee, of course it won't be very good at all. If they don't give us accurate returns, we won't be able to do anything about it.
All right, so there's still a number of loopholes or areas that you need to improve on.
Actually, with composers and musicians, but for us it's mainly composers. Composers being managing their own business. Each composer is a business. You decide on which corner you sell your fruit. In the same way, you need to make those decisions as to where your music is played so that we can pay you the correct revenue.
Yeah, but it's precisely that. I mean, you're not just getting assistance here. If you look at the Moshito Conference and Music Expo, it does talk about understanding the music industry as a business. It's not just frills and fluff and entertainment to indulge in ever so often.
On the one hand, you have to protect the industry, and on the other hand, you've got to grow this industry. And SAMRO has always looked at both of those. You've got to protect the rights, and you've got to grow the sector. And that's why we invest in music education, and that's why we started Moshito, because it's not such a simple industry. There's a range of 7 industry organizations that sit on the board of Moshito. Getting your music to be sold online is not such a simple process. Marketing yourself in the new digital age is not such a simple process either. And just understanding the business from live and the different aspects of live, the technical crews you have in the background, how you manage to tour, and then understanding the recording side, and now understanding the digital space. It's important to have a platform like Moshito where you can basically undergo a crash course in understanding what this industry is, where it's going, and where you need to position yourself. And the artists that position themselves the best are usually the ones that's educated, the ones that understands the basics of how this industry works and how to hone the art form.
Okay, let's talk about the bursaries. 117 musically inclined, deserving students have already been awarded at least 9,000 Rand each to study towards a music career. What was the criteria in selecting the students?
The criteria is that you must, there's 4 different types of bursaries, so there's 4 different types of criteria. The first one is music education study, the other one is your general music study, music composition study, and indigenous African music study. So of course for the composition and the indigenous African music study, that's more on your postgraduate side of things. So then you need to have an undergraduate degree, and you apply on our website, and I'm sure you've got the website. You download the forms and you can apply once you've registered at a university. For the undergraduates, there you needed to have completed your matric and needed to have registered at an institution and applied to us. We get quite a couple of 100 applications. We sit through mounds of applications and then we award the bursaries.
Yeah. But obviously that particular individual would have to stand out. If you're saying you've got bags and piles of applications and you can only afford to give 117, what is it that needs to be that unique aspect of a particular student that applies to you?
Most definitely they've got to stand out. In the Indigenous African Music Study, and that's the postgraduate one, there we will look as to what research are they doing. Is it unique? Is it specifically unique to South Africa? Is it important enough in order to grant a bursary? In music composition, we have a panel of professors and music professionals that have a look at the compositions, or rather a listen to the compositions, and decide which is the best, and they get those bursaries. When it comes to the general music study, it's on the basis of results. It's on merit, and those who have the best results are the ones that go through.
Give us a few luminaries that have benefited through the SAMRO bursaries.
Sure. Peter Klatso, Bongani Ndodana Breen, famous composer now, Kutlwano Masote, Concord and Kabinde, Sibongile Kumalo. Sure, I can't go through about 1,400 names off the top of my head and decide who's luminaries. Some of them go on, and what's nice about our scheme is that on the one hand we fund music schools. We fund 36 of them across the country. At the next level we fund bridging programs, that's access into university, and then and the height of it is our overseas scholarship competition, and you get various artists that have gone from being funded at a music school through a bridging program into university, and then the best of the best wins the overseas scholarship.
Andre, fantastic news indeed, but thanks so much
for
coming in this morning. We're speaking to Andre Roux. He's the General Manager of SAMRO's endowment scheme, or endowment for the national arts. Now SAMRO is also in partnership with CASA organization that hosts free and open music workshops. For more information on the SAMRO bursaries, you can go to www.sena.org.za, that is SENA.org.za, or you can go to composers.co.za.
Iloto kungaba ithuba isigwili SMSela uLotto ku 31314.
On Candy Girls.
I got a call back about the MEMS video and you all got casted as principals. One of you will be lead, but at this time I don't know which one.
I'm excited and I hope you guys are excited too. We got to pick one of the girls to be the lead girl.
Candy Girls, Monday at 8:30 on E!
This July, Clavero waits and DJ